Hi, everybody. Thank you for listening to the Bromosapiens podcast. We're so thankful that you're listening to our first episode. But before we get started, we just want to thank our sponsors for helping us out and helping us achieve our dream of having a podcast. Today, we're sponsored by Mr. Swaccelli's Calf Pills. Do you have small calves? Do you want to do something about it? Do you walk outside and people make fun of you for how skinny your legs are? Are you embarrassed so you have to wear reverse shorts where whenever you go outside, the bottom half of your legs are always covered but the top half might not be? Well, we have the product for you. Mr. Swaccelli's Calf Pills. It's a beautiful recipe made from banana, chai tea leaves, fish oil, monkey feces, the tears of an Eagles fan when you make fun of Jalen Hurts, lead, hydrofluoric acid, taco meat, both beef and chicken, and dandruff from anyone over the age of 29. All you have to do is take the pill 9 times a day for the next 20 to 40 years, and you might possibly see results. If you don't, I guess you should probably keep taking it. Mr. Swaccelli's Calf Pills, because if you have small calves, you should probably do something to make them bigger. Hello.
What up?
Welcome, everybody, to all our fans and friends that are listening, that are very real, and our huge following that we have right from the get-go. Welcome.
Yep.
Welcome to the podcast. My name is Caleb.
What's up? I'm Aaron.
That's Aaron. And,
Alright, I had no clue.
we're trying this out because we I especially think I have a lot to give to the world when it comes to my thoughts on things. And my thoughts are genuinely more important than others. And so I just want to share them with people. And Aaron, a minute in, is looking at his phone and is not as into this as I am. But we're gonna try and work this out. Might have to work out some kinks the first few weeks that we do this, but
Yep.
we'll figure it out.
Well, I just have a main character syndrome here, so I just know I'm the most important. Everything's about me, so
Right.
Caleb kind of started talking about himself and something about his thoughts, so I got distracted. I'm sorry.
Right.
I'll try to focus in.
Piggyback or just steal the same joke that I just used. Great.
I wasn't listening.
Awesome. This is how it's going to go. Aaron is just going to repeat the same jokes that I have constantly.
Yep.
Just his timing will be way late. And it just will not be as funny. We'll laugh at him more than we will be laughing with him.
So what are we talking about today?
So, we both watched Toy Story.
Yup.
So it's a movie that came out how old am I? I'm 27. So it came out 27 years ago because It came out a year after I was born. It came out in 1995, and it's a movie that has been talked about and is universally loved by everybody. But we're gonna tear it apart today and just destroy what you think about the movie and your childhood, hopefully, in the process. All right, so what did you think of Toy Story? I mean, I know obviously it's a beloved movie.
Yeah, I don't know. I was surprised that how much I didn't like it, the rewatch.
Okay.
I really didn't feel like it deserved as much love as I had as a child watching.
Okay.
Honestly.
Right.
I was also very, very surprised at how much innuendos and adult stuff was in this. It's crazy. Everything went over my head.
As a kid.
Yeah, just as a kid.
Not
I didn't have to look anything up when I watched the movie or anything.
What did Bo Peep mean when she said
why is she going to watch the sheep? What?
Yeah.
And why is he excited? I don't forget it.
So for those of you who've never seen Toy Story, I guess it's a story about toys. So what's the main point of Toy Story is there's this toy that is beloved by this child named Andy. Mm-hmm. And he gets another toy, which all kids do. And this toy kind of comes in and steps on Woody, his toes a little bit, and Woody's very jealous, and Woody tries to murder him, and we'll get into to that a little bit, actually. But yeah, I agree with you. Although I genuinely love the movie,
right?
I watched it and I was like, I guess just watching it because I knew we were gonna talk about it, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna watch this with this analytical type of mindset. So I was picking apart and nitpicking everything, and because of that, I was like, yeah, some of this stuff sucks. Some of this stuff is not good. I get it's so I just want to get this off the so there's a person in my life, I'm not gonna say his name. I'll disguise it. He likes to eat salmon, and he's not Mark, Luke, or John in the Bible. All right, I'll cut his name out. I'll bleep it out, make it seem like I cursed. But we have this argument that I have with this individual, and he talks about how kids' movies, animated movies, shouldn't be reviewed or talked about the way that adult movies should be reviewed or talked about because they're made for kids. So you can't have an opinion about specific movies. And the reason we got into this debate was because I said that the new Space Jam was a terrible movie, and he said, well, it's for kids, so you can't really say that it's terrible because it's for kids. You're an adult. And I was like, no, and we got into a whole debate about this. But, yeah.
I cannot believe he said that.
I know.
But at the same time, I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
That is a terrible opinion. Awful take. Awful take.
He has very bad opinions, this person. We both know who it is. But getting that off the, talking about that right off the bat, yeah, we can pick apart this childhood favorite movie that's supposed to be for kids.
Oh, yeah. We're going to.
But let's talk about some things that we liked. What did you like about it?
Dude.
First and foremost.
Love Randy Newman. Love him. You got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. All right, you're gonna edit that. Make it sound pretty good. Make it sound like a good.
Okay,
impression.
Yeah, I'll definitely edit it.
You got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. Just put on the actual track. They'll think it's real.
Yes, I will.
His voice is only fit for this movie. And
yes, I don't know of anyone that listens to Randy Newman outside of Toy Story.
He's actually my favorite artist. He's on my Spotify top 5.
Yeah, mine too. Actually, I was downplaying it because I just wanted to seem cool. But no, he's my favorite.
Yeah, me too.
Randy
Newman. let's hear your impression, Caleb. Let me hear it.
You got a friend in me.
All right, cut that out because it's too good.
I know mine was way better.
You can't just be like, oh, I guess I'll try. Just, you got a friend in me. You've been practicing for weeks.
I liked the voice acting was great. Mm-hmm. It still holds up. Obviously Tom Hanks and Tim Allen, but some of the background characters were cool. Pig, Mr. what's his name? Ham, right?
Yeah.
John Ratzenberger.
Yeah,
the guy
John
he's in every
Ratzenberger.
Pixar movie, and I forget the guy's name who does Mr. Potato Head, but he's awesome. What's his name?
Dude, I don't remember.
Rickles? No, I'm gonna look it up. Talk about things you like.
Don Rickles.
I think that is.
I don't think it's him. Is that really?
I don't know. We'll talk and fill the dead air while I look it up. Or just laugh into the mic. That's fine. Don Rickles. It literally is.
It was Don Rickles?
Yeah, it is. It's his.
That's the king of comedy. They say he's he just rips people apart. That's his type of comedy. He just started roasting.
That's awesome. That is a good segue though into Mr. Potato Head is just so funny. Yeah, he's so funny. The few little things he does, his sarcasm, and some of the jokes, he is talking to Slinky and someone makes a sarcastic comment and he takes off his lips and just plants it on his butt.
Yeah.
So funny. It's one of those inappropriate jokes and innuendos that you don't realize as a kid, but that's so funny.
Well, staying on the Mr. Potato Head, I mean, even so when this is obviously at the end, but when they get a Mrs. Potato Head,
spoilers by the way for the movie that came out 27 years ago.
Shoot, I didn't say it. I'm sorry, guys.
It's okay.
I'm really sorry. Yeah, if you haven't seen it, cut off to close your ears now.
Yeah.
This is like the biggest.
Just cut off your ears.
This is the,
Cut off your ears.
This is the main plot of the movie, so don't listen here. But when they get Mrs. Potato Head like announced, and he's like, "Oh, I got to shave." His mustache off.
Takes his mustache off.
I don't know why. That was funny to me.
Great.
It got me.
Wordy was my favorite character. Like such a just in the background character, but he doesn't have a voice. Like he can't talk, and he's just like the words that appear. And his reactions are with everybody, but he's always it's just words like what or question mark and when Buzz is like there's like a training montage and Buzz is like running on the treadmill, you see like Wordy is counting the calories that he's burning. What else? Oh, the cult that the aliens were in is just classic. I love a good children's depiction of a cult. You know?
Yeah, just when the aliens like, where are you going? To a better place.
The hooker toy, and we were talking about this before we started recording, but you did not understand the hooker joke, or you just didn't get it, or it didn't click.
I did not.
But there's a hooker as one of Sid's toys. It's a like Barbie legs, like very seductive looking legs, and a fishing hook and a fishing rod, and yeah, it's supposed to be a hooker. It's funny. It's a good meta joke there for the parents.
Yeah,
love it.
Went over my head, but it's okay.
Right.
Not a parent yet, I guess.
And I like how Buzz got drunk off of tea. That's funny.
Yeah, that's definitely a classic. That's a classic scene for sure.
Yeah. My favorite jokes were when Buzz was drunk, and he was like going through his life crisis.
Right.
And he was like, "Just tell me the hat looks good." Like he was Mrs. Nesbit.
Don't you know? Don't you see? I'm Mrs. Nesbit now.
Yeah.
That's who I am.
And then when Buzz is watching Sid perform like operations, and he says, "I don't believe that boy has ever been to medical school."
Yeah, that's so good.
And my absolute favorite was, and you mentioned this one before, again, when we were talking about it, was when they were opening all the gifts in the beginning.
Yep.
The premise of the beginning is Andy is having a birthday party, and all of his friends are there bringing him gifts, and as he's opening the gifts, he opens what was it, bed sheets?
Yeah, this is first a lunchbox, and then
a lunchbox
and bed sheets.
And after the bed sheets is open, Mr. Potato Head goes, "Who invited that kid?"
Yeah, it was so good.
Funny. I did not as a kid. Those are the jokes that are so good for the adults because it's just so dumb and so funny. But that one I cracked up loud in my living room as a 27-year-old married guy watching Toy Story. I was dying with that joke. Same
here. Well, bro, what's the worst gift that you've gotten? Have you gotten anything like that as a kid growing up?
Oh, as a kid.
Or even as an adult, honestly.
What about you? I need to think.
I asked the question, I have no clue. But
I don't have an idea either.
I remember, I think I got a book one year, and that was the only thing I got was just a book. But it was a book I read in school, already.
Okay.
But I had to pretend I was hyped about it. So I was like, no way.
Yeah.
Just terrible gift. Just awful.
I remember, I can't think of a specific gift where I was like, this sucks. But I remember my grandma would always get me clothes. And as a kid, you hate getting clothes. But with my grandma specifically, she would always get clothes that were 3 sizes too big. I was a small kid. I didn't hit 100 pounds until I was 23.
You're over 100 pounds right now?
Yeah, I am. Just a little bit.
Dude,
I finally got there. But yeah, I was really small, and I was 5 foot, 5 feet. No, under 5 feet until again, till I was I just hit 5 foot last year. And she would always get me clothes that I would just swim in, and I would not be they wouldn't be comfortable on me until 3 or 4 years later.
Oh my goodness!
That's how bad they were. It wasn't I could barely wear them. I just could not wear them for years. But I mean, R.I.P. Grandma. But
yeah, she's just delusional on how big you are. Kale's massive.
I don't know. I feel she was just So here's a funny story about my grandma. So one time, she loves Italian grandmother. She loves cooking food and whatnot, and she made the best cheesecake in the world.
Ooh.
Best cheesecake, and it was always a very special occasion when she made a cheesecake. And so, this one time we were eating cheesecake, and I came up to get a piece of cheesecake. I was like one of the first ones up. Like I saw her bring it out. She starts cutting the cheesecake, and I go up to get a piece of cheesecake. And my grandma, she loved us, but she always favored my cousins over me and my siblings and whatnot. I don't know why the reason was, whatever. She loved us. She loved my dad, obviously. My dad might have been her favorite, but this that I go up to get the piece of cheesecake, and I'm like, Grandma, can I have a piece of cheesecake, please? And she said, word for word, this is not a joke. This is a quote. Like, for those of you who, when I say I promise, it means I'm telling the truth. I promise this happened. She said the words to me, let's wait until everybody else gets a piece, and then you can have one.
Oh. No, what is Stone Cold Savage? She just...
What?
Crushing.
I'm like 12 years old, and I'm just like, oh, okay, and like walk away, and yeah, that's
heartbroken,
dude. It's so yeah. My grandma, I don't know. She just like giving me gifts. She was probably just like, she was by the dollar what is it, the value rack, and she was like, oh yeah, Caleb, I gotta get him something. She just throws it in the cart. It's like. It's like 50 cents. All right, so let's tear this movie apart.
Yep.
Let's talk about the things we hated, things we disliked, the things that we should not... The reasons people should not watch this movie.
Yeah, don't even... If you haven't watched it, actually take your ears, put them back on. Who cares about the spoilers? You're not going to watch it.
Exactly.
It's trash. Look at the inconsistencies in this movie. Can you talk about some of these things?
Yeah, so the human faces are really creepy, for one.
Yep.
The human animation does not hold up as well as the toy. The toy animation is amazing. Yeah, it still looks really good. Groundbreaking. Groundbreaking, exactly. But I think the reason it looks really good is because their toys and their faces should look kind of lifelike. Like Pixar didn't get into humans until, what was it, like 4 or 5 years later.
Right.
Because they did A Bug's Life next. Like that was the next movie that they did. And the faces are just really creepy. Every child's face is the same. They all have... Andy's face just on like there's a black Andy, there's like a girl Andy, there's like a bunch of different Andys. Like it's really creepy and I knew that going in. I remember seeing something about that and like focusing on it. I was like, this is weird. I do not like this. Wow. So the animation for the humans specifically just did not hold up to the toy animation. Did you have something that you didn't like about it, or?
Yeah, well, I mean, just like the whole premise just makes no sense at like so many different turns, but especially with like Buzz, why does he not know that he's a toy? Like, why is he not sentient, but all the other toys are? And then with that, like, it doesn't make sense that he goes limp when Annie's playing with him.
Yeah.
As if he sort of knows that he's a toy. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it makes no sense. It raises a bunch of questions as to, like, why is he playing this game along with the other toys? Like, it literally, like, there's no... I want to know the reason why. Like, why does he not move when the toys come around? I mean, when the humans come around. Makes absolutely no sense. Is he insecure and just trying to fit in? That could be one.
Yeah.
Maybe his whole... Sorry. Maybe
what was that noise you just made?
Something popped up on the screen. I was like, did this just stop recording? I would have been so upset.
Yeah.
Sorry. Took me off track, you jerk. Trying to...
Alright, start back up.
Is he... What were we talking about?
Dude, you're talking about Buzz. You're talking about Buzz.
Right.
Like,
okay, yeah. Is he insecure and just trying to fit in? Is he... Maybe he's insecure about the fact that he knows he's not a space ranger and he's just a toy. And so he's just living in his own delusion, but knows that he can't move around when adults or when humans come around because he doesn't. I don't know. He's just living in that illusion or whatever.
I guess my question to me is to like just thinking about this is like, if I was in this universe, would I rather be a toy that believes they're a toy and knows they're a toy, or would I rather be like Buzz Lightyear in the beginning? Like, do I actually want to believe that I am the character that I am?
Right. What do you think? What would you want to, like, you put thought into that?
Yeah, I think
deep,
honestly,
very deep. It's very deep. We're getting deep on our first podcast.
Yeah, it's real.
And you guys can see
it's
how
real.
my chair keeps clicking.
Yeah, I think I'm probably already like that a little bit in my life.
Like Buzz Lightyear?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that I'm funny.
Oh, right.
And I tell myself that I'm really funny.
And
I'm not.
The Woody to yours Buzz Lightyear, I will let you know.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I appreciate that.
No, you're funny when it comes to some things, I guess. I don't know. I've never seen it, but I'm sure that it's there.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that.
Right.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, kind words from Caleb. He's a really good friend. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know if I would want to know that I'm a toy. I feel like I would not want to live if I knew I was a toy. I don't feel like that makes any sense to like even want to continue living where like that's your life. I don't know. It just seems purposeless.
Well, they have a purpose though. Their purpose is to bring joy to Andy and to little kids. You know. Sounds weird, like
yeah.
I would want that
Caleb,
to be my
Caleb wants to please little kids. I don't know. We just heard it here.
My purpose, but
what's the guy that catches
purpose.
the predators? What's his name?
Chris Hansen.
Yeah,
Chris Hansen just walked. He comes out of the closet.
I knew it.
Take a seat right here. But no, I would. I don't know. That's a good question. I think I would be okay with just being a toy if I knew that was my purpose. You know, because it's like, okay, like life's never gonna change, but like, do we have like do toys have like organs and whatnot? That kind of brings up the question.
That's confusing too.
Yeah, like Bo Peep says something. One of the innuendos you were talking about was she says, sheep or all. What does she say?
She's like, I'm gonna get someone to watch the sheep. Tonight,
right?
So that they can get together.
Get together. So what are they doing when they get together? Like
so lost.
Yeah, like do they have organs? Like do they have like genitalia? Like do they have that stuff that I don't know. So as a toy though, if I don't have those mechanics in me and like I know my only purpose is to make Andy happy, then I'm fine with that. But the sad part is when sorry, this guy just texted me and she said, Alexa just told me that the Beatles released new music. I don't want to be the one to tell her that two of the Beatles have died. And they're not. And they haven't been together since 1970.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know. Alexa's on something today.
Yeah,
but
that's a great text. That's a really
I'm
great
leaving
text.
that in.
Yep.
But I think... Yeah, actually no. Because thinking about like what comes after, like, because we see in the progression of the Toy Story movies.
Right. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert! If you haven't seen these movies that came out, 12 plus years ago, like what happens after your kid doesn't want you, you know, and then you would have to be donated to, like a play area or like a daycare or something, or thrown out. And then are you just like in the dump?
Yeah, that's terrible.
Right.
That's so bad.
In a
Especially
way.
if you can't die. Like that's like hell. Like if you're so small that you can't like actually like escape and you're just like scattered like in a like a dump or like set out to sea like in like the barges, like the trash barges.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's awful. And the other thing I was thinking about with like whether I want to be a toy or not is like I was such a savage to my toys as a kid. I would be a wreck if it was treated like anything like my toys are treated. Like one time when I was a kid, my brother, he's older than me. He's 6 years older than me. And when I was like 7 years old, he convinced me that, I'm a big boy now. So big boys do not play with toys. So what are we going to do with all these action figures I have? Well, obviously we got to go in the backyard and just send them with our baseball bats. Duh.
Yeah, that makes
right?
sense. Yeah,
and so we're
just
beating the crap out of our action figures, just wrecking them. And then my brother sends this like rubber wrestler. This thing weighs like maybe like 4 pounds. And just he sends it and it hits the house behind us diagonally. It hits the window and knocks the window pane. It comes right out. And we run inside, and my family's like, my mom is like, one day, like, she's like, what happened to all your toys? And I'm like, I don't know. I have no idea. Yeah. And like, this guy has no clue. I just can't imagine this man's day getting home from work and like seeing the backyard, just like the window pane just shattered on the ground, and a wrestler, like action figure, like just sitting on the floor.
So for this guy, your neighbor probably thought that toys were sentient. He probably thought he watched Toy Story, and he was like, that's the only obvious like explanation to how this could have happened.
Yeah.
This wrestler.
Like, Lou Ferrigno.
It was Lou Ferrigno.
Yeah, that's what it was actually.
Lou Ferrigno came alive and Hulk smashed his way, and so tried to Hulk smash his way into the house, and so you gave your neighbor psychological damage by doing that, because now he thinks toys are alive.
Right, just like Sid.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, right, like.
Yeah, the psychological damage that this kid went through. Sid, let's get this out of the way. Sid is just a teen, like a preteen.
Yeah,
you know, like
normal boy,
just a normal kid. I didn't want to say Sid is a normal kid because it rhymed, but it would have sounded cool, I guess. Yeah, he's just a normal child.
Right. No rhyming in this podcast, by the way.
No rhyming. Besides the beginning rap.
That we're gonna do every week. We're gonna put that in later. Yeah. Put that in post.
Right. Aaron's gonna rap every week. We're gonna give him words to phrase.
Yeah. Well, why wouldn't I be the one rapping? It makes sense.
He would be the one because why? Because he's younger and he's more in tune with.
I am more into rap. That's what it is. Why am I more into rap?
Because he's a great guy. Yeah, Sid is just a normal kid. Like you just said, you torched your kids. You know, your kids. You torched your toys when you were younger. I did the same. I ripped them apart. You know, I had a bunch of toys that didn't have heads. Like that was just a thing. You just ripped their heads off. You know, especially if you had like a villain. Like I had a lot of Spider-Man toys, and if you had like a villain, like I remember I had the Rhino, I had Venom, I had Green Goblin, I had just other like toys or whatever. But Spider-Man would always like
flexing on us right now.
Yeah,
we get it, Caleb.
No, don't worry. They were always like, they were my brothers. Like I didn't get them. My brothers hand me downs. You know, so they were like the good ones though, the ones from the '90s and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I would always just rip their heads off because that's the best thing to do when you're you know, a hero and you want to
take the villain out.
Yeah, take the villain out. But yeah, Sid, what they did to him. We'll get into that later. So let's talk more about like what well at least what I didn't like about it.
Well, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm kind of worried. What if we're not the typical? And like everyone else is like, why do you rip the heads off your toys? You guys are psychopaths. Just everyone else has a completely different upbringing.
Yeah, well, you know what they say. If you have an opinion that's different than someone else's, then you might not agree with them about certain things.
What is?
That's the saying. That's the popular saying.
Right. I know that saying. Right. I forgot.
Whatever I just said is what they say. So Woody's a miserable SOB.
Yeah. Oh, he's terrible.
He's a jerk. Like he's not pleasant. I did not like him watching this movie again.
No.
And he is like such an icon.
Yeah.
Of Disney, and so it pissed me off.
Yeah.
Watching his reactions to some things.
Well, I feel betrayed. I mean, like, I thought, like, I loved him. I don't know. I thought, like, growing up, when I first watched it, I don't know how old I was, honestly, but, like, Woody was my guy.
Yeah.
But I feel like I was, like, kind of emotionally manipulated, honestly, because he's terrible. He's a terrible person. But as a kid, you can't recognize that.
Yeah.
You don't realize that he's just, like, filled with, like, jealousy and, like... Dude, he attempts to murder Buzz. Like, just straight kills him. Like, tries to kill him.
Yeah, literally tries to kill him. Like, he pushes him out of a window.
Yeah, and poor RC car, by the way. Like,
yeah.
Just been, like, manipulated into manslaughter. Just
Not even manipulated. Literally forced.
Yeah.
To. Like, he literally is just being forced. Like, he has no control, I guess, over... who like uses him and whatnot.
Yeah, we need to fight for the rights of the RC car in Toy Story.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Is that his only appearance? Does he appear in the other ones? I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe he does or not. But
RC car lives matter.
100%.
All toys matter.
Oh, jeez. We get political, Aaron.
Oh, my fault. Yep.
So my question was, so for Woody being as miserable as he was, he must have known, like he should know that children go through favorite toys.
Yeah.
Through their lives, because he wasn't around for. I'm sure he wasn't around forever. They don't go into the backstory of it, but he must have known that there was another toy that Andy really loved, and that he kind of took over for that toy and became Andy's favorite. And this little jerk thinks he's like that much better than everyone.
Yeah.
That he like can't handle someone else coming in to take his like shine. You know? Like he has to know that, like that there was another toy at one point that was Andy's favorite. But he thinks that he's so much better than everybody else that Andy can never possibly love another toy as much as he loves Woody. Just a like a narcissist.
Yeah, 100%.
100% ego-driven toy.
Yeah.
Who do you think was the toy before Woody? Was it one of the ones that he has already?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was definitely the Slinky. The
Slinky
Dog? Yeah.
He was my favorite as a kid.
He's that guy.
Yeah, I love Slinky
The
Dog.
OG. You can tell he's the OG with his voice.
Yeah, and Woody or Slinky was probably just okay with Woody coming in, and he knew he could recognize that Woody was a sociopath, and kind of took a step back. But I think
good guy Slinky.
Slinky was kind of mature enough to understand that he's not going to be Andy's favorite, because he's like a children's toy. That's why I think you're onto something with saying it might have been Slinky.
Right.
Yeah, it could have been someone else, but
like there's no such thing as a kid who really like sticks with the toy as their favorite toy at his age, like for that long. There's no way. There must have been.
100%.
There must have been.
Yeah. And honestly, just the fact that he loves Woody so much, like I loved certain toys a lot, but I don't think I had a toy that forever was my toy for like years.
Yeah.
There's no way. Like I remember I had a Goofy doll that was like my favorite, and I carried him around everywhere. But then like once Spider-Man came around, like he was my favorite. You know what I mean? So it's just so unrealistic of Woody.
Yeah.
I know we have high expectations for this.
Where's the emotional maturity in this guy? What's wrong with him?
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, what's crazy is that I actually growing up, when we moved, my family moved from New York to New Jersey, and our neighbor was like my brother's age and gave me a Woody doll, an actual Woody doll, yeah, and with you can pull the string and all this stuff. And he was kind of big, like he was like I don't know, like a foot long, like it was a big toy. And I remember 2 months into living in New Jersey, he was so special to me because that was my connection to New York. 2 months in, broke him. 2 months in.
Oh,
broke him. That's all it took. Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say I still have him.
I was devastated, and I remember I was like, "Can we fix him?" My mom was like, "Nope." Chucked him in the garbage. I was so upset for a day, and then
you got over it. Yeah.
It's whatever.
You played with a cardboard box and you were good. Right?
Yeah. Just dug holes in the backyard.
Yeah, that's what I did. I didn't have toys until I was 17.
Right.
No, I had a Woody. I had a Woody doll and I had a Buzz, and I remember beating the crap out of them. I destroyed these guys. I was their Sid. So I hope they're not alive. Or they couldn't feel what we did to them. But I remember taking a bat to Buzz, throwing him against a tree.
Oh my god!
We hung him by his ankles.
Like a piñata.
Like a piñata. But also, he was close enough on the string to hit the trunk of the tree. So we would just and he was maybe we just weren't very strong, but he withstood a lot of it. But yeah, we were just kind of like a tether ball. But imagine if you took the tether ball and just threw it as hard as you can against the pole. That's what we did.
Isn't that how you play tetherball? I don't know why I always lose, but I'm pretty sure that's how you play.
I'm pretty sure that's how you get the touchdown, is if you throw it against the thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh man. Well, speaking of the having toys and beating them up, I don't know. Did you ever have a stuffed animal type of toy that was soft or something? Cause I had a SpongeBob one, And that's what took the most, like, aggression. Was like one of those. Like, I would just like, I thought I was Rocky, bro. Like, I was just beating the crap out of those toys. Like like anything stuffed animal, like just rocking them, just like kicking and punching. Like, I was crazy. That might have just been me. I might have had too much aggression as a kid.
Yeah, that sounds like you need to see a therapist and talk about that. Because
punching SpongeBob.
Punching poor SpongeBob. What did he ever do to you? No, I never. I didn't have I didn't beat up on stuffed animals. I beat up on toys that could break. So I needed to see that there was like an aftermath.
Yeah.
You know, like there was like damage done, and like, you know, if you're punching a stuffed animal, I was gonna say they can't feel it. But
right, and I'm the one that has to go to the doctor. Yeah, I'm the one with the problem.
I think that's normal.
It's like, I only like to hit them when you can see them break.
When you can see them break. If they can make noises while you're hitting them and it sounds painful, that's fine with me too.
You're psycho.
I feel like that's a normal thing for a child to do. So, there's a baby in the front seat, and it's facing the front.
So irresponsible. Unbelievable.
Just ridiculous.
Call Divus. Take that kid away.
And I can understand.
Crush the family.
I can understand if you maybe have a small car, right?
Right.
They have a minivan.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
What is his mom's name? I don't think she has a name. Andy's mom.
Yeah.
Andy's mom, what are you doing? Get your life together. Maybe this is why your husband left you.
Yeah. Whoa! Whoa! That's...
Child endangerment? She should not have the kids. Whatever the situation is, she should not have the children.
True. They should probably be in the custody of the dad. I don't know.
We'll
who knows what the dad did?
We don't know what the dad did.
This is a sad story. The kids just end up in foster care. The dad's...
Most likely that's what's going to happen. I hated how the claw worked. Because that never happens in real life.
Mm-hmm. The claw machine.
I have an addiction to those games. I will spend hundreds of dollars on it.
No way.
If I don't have somebody to rein me in. So being with Sky over the past few years, I can rein it in because she'll be like, "Are you really gonna spend like $10 on this one thing? Like you could just buy a stuffed animal like for that much." I mean, it's not about that. It's about the thrill of the win, you know?
Well, then also at that point, you spent too much money to go back now.
Yeah, then
you can't go buy one.
Yeah, you spent $9 on nothing.
You can't go back empty-handed after that.
Exactly.
You gotta keep going. Absolutely.
Right.
Sunken cost.
So, okay, not talking about the claws, but just in general, that frustrated me that the claw, like, it latched onto, like, 2 in a row, he got the alien, and then he grabs Buzz, and it's holding onto Buzz, and Woody's pulling it back, and it's, like, going down, and then, it just frustrated me that it didn't, like, let go.
No, so, I've done enough of those to know that there's just no way. I mean, one of my, I went on a date with this girl in high school, my junior year, and I wanted to impress this girl so bad, and I was just such a goofy kid, and I just thought it'd be cute, like I've seen in the movies, you know, you go out, there's like a little claw machine in the front of the restaurant.
Yeah.
You know? So after the date's over or whatever, we had dinner, we had a nice time, I'm like, I gotta win her, like, a stuffed animal, right? And I just spend all my cash. Could not get a single thing. And she's like, I probably spent like $4 at this point, and she's like, all right, Aaron, it's okay, you don't have to. And I was just like, no, and I'm so fixed in.
Yeah.
She's just like sitting down bored for like 20 minutes. I spend all of my cash, and I don't get anything, and we just go home.
That's sad.
Bro, silence. Did not get a second date. It was a wrap.
I wouldn't have given you a second date either, honestly.
Yeah,
that's sad. I remember one of the first times I went to, like, like a boardwalk or whatever with Sky. It's just some arcade, and I was like, I'm really good at these things. Let me try, and I got it. Like one of the first ones. Like one of the first times we were together at like an arcade. It might have been the first one, and I won her something. It was so cool. And then I tried to replicate that feeling of just feeling like I won the Super Bowl. You know?
Yeah.
And every other time we've gone to, like, an arcade, I just have not. I think I've won in the next, we've been together almost 10 years now. In the next, 9 years, I haven't won anything. Or no, once. I won a Jordan jersey.
Oh,
which was pretty cool. But Yeah.
That's almost worse for you when you start out with winning. That's how they do it with
I know.
drugs. Like they let you.
have
The
that,
first
like-
one's free.
Yeah, that like expectation that you're gonna be amazing, but then it's
Second's never the same.
it's sad. But yeah, that I hated that. I had some miscellaneous things in the movie that I caught that I just thought were funny. That I'm just all rattle off. Woody calls Buzz Light Beer. I thought that was funny.
That's good. Woody.
Mr. Potato Head threatens to hang Woody at one point.
What the heck was that?
That
There's capital punishment in this world.
yeah, and they're okay with it. I don't understand how that would work if they don't have if they were to
lungs?
just hang him. Yeah, they were to just hang him
breathing.
from his neck. Like, would that affect his breath? I don't know.
Doesn't even make sense.
It must, because it's a threat that he uses against Woody.
Well, or even worse, if you're just hanging there, I guess that's probably a worse fate than dying.
Oh right, if you can't
if you're
move,
stuck.
rip his arms off and then hang him.
Whoa, that's messed up.
That's what I would
Mr.
do.
Potato Head, what's wrong?
Yeah, so this movie is basically just about a sad family. A family that is broken.
Yep.
Like, where's Dad? Number one.
Right.
Did he leave? Did he pass away? And the whole plot of the movie is them moving to a smaller house.
Mm-hmm.
So their life is not going on. It's not good. You know?
Right.
And this must have been recently, like you said, because
There's a baby.
there's a baby.
Yeah.
So it's just a very sad. When you look at the whole picture, it's very sad.
Super depressing.
Yeah.
Like, there's no happy ending for anyone in this story. And something you pointed out before when we were talking was the moving truck has like such little boxes.
Yeah.
Like, this is so sad. They have nothing.
They have nothing. If you in the moving truck, there's like literally like 6 boxes, and like 2 of them are toys. So it's like,
It's just so nuts, by the way.
do they not have any? So really, what must have happened was the father must have had a mistress or something,
Right.
and he must have cheated on Andy's mother. It's the heat. It's okay.
Okay.
He must have cheated on Andy's mother. Took all of their possessions with them. So you don't really see the house, right? You just see Andy's room. So he's not going to take his kids' stuff. So they just took all their possessions.
Right.
He took all their possessions and he moved away with this girl, this new girl, whoever it is.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And it makes sense because the no, actually it doesn't make any sense. I want to say because the baby looks different than but then that doesn't make any sense at all. He couldn't have switched in this baby. That's really dumb. Forget it.
I'm gonna cut that. I'm gonna cut that.
I was so excited.
I was like, oh yes, Aaron's got something to jump in and say.
Yeah, cut that.
So yeah, it's just a sad tale about this. So the father probably, he probably had a mistress or something, moved away, took all their possessions. So now they have nothing. They're going to a smaller house. It's just Andy and his mother, who might be a drunk.
Yeah.
I don't have any evidence towards that, but I would just
like
assume that her life is she's probably not happy with her life.
She's
neglects
projecting
her
so
children.
much on her.
She neglects her children.
Yeah,
she puts the
100%.
baby in the front seat, and she's just, anytime her kid asks for the toy, she's just like, oh, it's probably over there. You'll find it. Like, she doesn't take any time out of her day to help him find the toy.
So inconsiderate.
I'm not glad.
What are you about to say right now? How are you finishing this sentence?
I'm not glad that Andy's father is not in the picture, but I understand.
Okay.
Is what I'm saying. Because this woman just does not seem like she's fit. I don't know how she has custody, and it has to be something like he just moved out of the picture.
He just dipped.
Yeah.
Yeah, couldn't handle it anymore.
Or he passed away. We don't know.
Jeez, yeah. Either way, this
But
is
that's
a
sad,
story.
and that's not a fun thing to talk about on a podcast. So we're just gonna say that he.
We
he
like
had
to
a
punch
mistress.
down here. We can laugh at people's misery. We like to punch down.
Yeah, we can laugh at people's deaths.
Yeah,
That's funny.
Who cares about these people?
Another reason why Andy's mom is terrible is
Let's keep piling on.
is she, well, so they're moving, and it's like known from the get go that they're moving, and I don't know how much time. It's only a few days that passes in the movie, and I just moved. I just had a big move in my
Right.
life, so I understand that you need to pack stuff beforehand.
Oh,
And
yeah.
one of the first things that comes with packing is taking things off the walls. Because you don't need the stuff on the walls, and you can just pack that up. This lady, this psycho, who should not have her children, she should not have custody of her children. In the midst of this, she does a redecoration of Andy's room and takes all of Andy's Woody stuff off the wall and puts up Buzz Lightyear stuff. If you're going to take stuff off the wall, take it off the wall and move. And then put up the Buzz Lightyear stuff when you move. Don't put all this stuff up just for a day, just for a night or two. It just makes no sense. Like, I feel like, in a way, she knew she was hurting Woody.
Well, I think even more than that, this is like, it could really be some kind of psychological warfare she's like waging with like her son, like just mad at him somehow for like this what's happened with her husband or whatever. Because like that's the person I think that's hurt even more, is like he probably got even more attached to his room, like with this new decoration, and is leaving. I mean, like it's already gotta be hard for a kid to move. Like I know it's hard for me. And then, like, I don't know, you just make him excited about his new, like, I was hyped whenever I redesigned my room, like, move something around.
Yeah. But that, like, for him, it was like a night, you know?
Yeah.
Like, why do you do
Makes
I mean,
no sense.
It just, it makes me think, like, maybe she made him do it. You never know.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she might, but I don't think a child should be doing that stuff. Should be working with, like, thumbtacks and whatnot. Like, I don't know. It just makes me, it pisses me off thinking about his mother, because she just is not a very good mother. And like, if she allowed him to do that, like a good parent would not have allowed their children to do that if he was the one who did it.
Right.
I'm overstepping my bounds saying that she was the one who did it.
Well, that's where we draw the line. You can't. we can cast on her that she's a drunk without even knowing it. But dude, don't assume that she put those posters up, bro. That's too far.
Yes. So okay. So she might not have done it. Her kid might, like Andy might have done it, but a good parent would have stopped it. That's all I'm gonna say on the matter.
You're like a decorating Nazi. You're like a moving Nazi.
I am. Now that I moved twice in the past 2 years, and I'm like, I understand it. So how come some toys can talk but others can't? I get the ones that don't have mouths and stuff, but RC has a mouth and eyes, and he can't talk.
RC's done so dirty for no reason.
It makes absolutely no sense to me why he can't talk, and he's just like, he can't like move. I don't get it. Like, he can only move. Control. Yeah, he has no control over his movements, over like where he goes, and like, right, is that just me, or he didn't really move throughout the whole movie besides when he was moved on the...
No, only the controller. Which is so messed up. That's actually even more nightmarish of like a concept that like to be alive as that is like even worse than...
It's like a Black Mirror episode.
Yeah.
It really is. Like, you're a toy, you can't move, but you're aware and alive, and you can emote. Like, he can talk, he can't talk. He can move his eyes.
Yeah. It's so bad.
It's so terrible.
It's literally a nightmare.
RC, that's another, like, we're picking apart this movie, but it's really sad for a lot of these characters, and you don't realize it. Like, that's a sad life to live for RC. You know, is it the next one? I guess we'll talk about it when we talk about it, but, you know, there's the character that was stuck up on the shelf. We'll get to that. But yeah, it's just sad.
Yeah,
you know?
it's like deals like Stockholm syndrome and stuff. It's wild.
But yeah, I don't know why some can talk but others can't.
No, makes no sense. Especially Sid's toys.
Yeah, Sid's toys are... I mean, I get that they were like taken apart or whatever. If that has something to do with it, okay.
Sure.
Yeah, I'll agree with you, and I'll be like, okay, that's fine, yes. But the inconsistencies is what I have a problem with.
Yeah.
Because, so one of Sid's toys is a duck inside of a little muscle man jumpy thing.
Yeah.
But if you look closely, and I did.
You looked real close.
I looked real close. It's a Pez dispenser that's inside the muscle guy thing. So, but that toy is the only one that makes noise, and he makes a duck quacking noise. Yeah. So why is this Pez dispenser, why is he making noises? Does the muscle man, like the questions I have, or is the muscle man, does he have something to do with the duck? Like, was he a duck originally? Like, why is he, so if he can make the duck noise, if he was just a Pez dispenser, from my knowledge of Pez dispensers, they don't make noise. Why can he make noise, but none of the other toys can make noise, especially the ones that are not ripped apart like Sid, you know, because you can make the argument that, okay, well, they don't have like a mouth or whatever, like RC might not have a mouth, but he does.
Yeah.
But the army men don't have mouths. They have like slits for mouths, but it's like, you know, the mold is their face, you know. It's just bothers me. This movie, the more I talk about it, the more I never want to watch it again.
Yeah, right. Like, it's so wild. And I think you, like, the more you dive in, the less answers you have, just the more questions you get. You just get more questions. Like, well, if the muscle man is not, like, alive, or, like, his head is, like, the part that, like, really makes the toy, like, itself, then where's the head? Is he just a decapitated head, like, toy? Like, just, like, off, like, in the garbage? Like, that sucks. Like, his arms just being used as, like, like a mech suit? Like,
does he still... Can he feel that? Like, if his head is separated, but he feels what the duck Pez dispenser is controlling.
Oh, that's awful.
And how do they, so like, how does the Pez dispenser become the rest of it that he can move? Are they moving, like, simultaneously? Like, is he just moving his body and the head moving his head?
Oh,
which is what I can see. That's just, in my head, that's how it's going to work. They're all just working together now, even though they're ripped apart and separated. So that goes back to Sid, though. Is that Sid is the most tragic character of the whole movie.
100%.
Because, well, why do you think?
Well, he's just like a maybe somewhat neglected kid, like just normal boy, and he is so traumatized. Like dude, they freak him out, and understandably, like I would have been terrified if that, like, he was threatened. He was threatened to be basically murdered by these toys, and like this is literally Chucky. Like this is like in a kid's movie.
Yeah.
And he just has to live his life. Like he's a preteen.
Nobody will believe him. Nobody, like, for those of you listen again. I don't know who has not seen Toy Story, but
this imaginary audience.
What?
This imaginary audience who's never seen Toy Story and is also watching our podcast.
These people that I've made up. If you've never seen, so what happens at the end? Spoiler alert: is Sid. The toys band together to save Buzz, and their plan is to basically talk to Sid and show him that they're alive and that he's hurting these toys. So yeah, nobody's gonna believe that. If he tells anyone that, nobody's gonna believe that. You know, so he's just gonna be like a psycho, who is gonna believe what happened, which it happened.
It literally happened.
We saw it happen.
Yeah.
He's gonna tell people about it. They're gonna think he's crazy. He's not. We see what happens to him in Toy Story 3, and I guess we'll talk about that when we get there. But yeah, his life is just set up to be very sad.
Right, and he's old enough that he can't even, like, honestly chalk it up to, like, his own child. Like, I feel like I look back at stuff and, like, memories that I had as, like, a kid, and, like, once they become real is probably when I was, like, 4 or 5. It's like, okay, I'm certain that the way I remember it is more or less how it kind of happened. I couldn't have been hallucinating things like you are when you're a little kid and you can't separate your imagination. Right. Like, Sid can't even use that as an excuse. Like, people who have that happen go actually crazy. Like,
100%.
It's like gaslit. Like, this is, like, so messed up.
Yeah, he was like, what, like 10 or 11 or something, probably?
Yeah, at least. And that's too old to have that happen to you. And then, like, no one believes you. And, like, you just gotta, like, live with that.
Very sad, yeah. So this whole movie is just a sad, depressing movie about when you take away the toys.
Right.
It's a sad, broken family of a father who either left or passed away recently. And the villain of the story is a neglected child who is just doing what he wants to have a good time and just to find some joy in life in playing with toys. And sure, he does it in a very aggressive way, and he plays with explosives and whatnot, but what boy doesn't want to play with explosives?
Yeah,
what boy doesn't want to rip apart his toys? Most normal children do that. And he's villainized, and he is made... He's given this very traumatic episode to where his life will be ruined.
Yeah.
It's very sad.
And all for the sake of what? Would he making it back with Buzz Lightyear, like toys, like for the sake of toys?
But
absurd.
Great movie.
Yeah, classic.
Love it. Yeah, we'll watch it again. We'll always
100% recommend. Watch it.
Watch it. If you had to rate it 1 out of 100 toys, what do you rate it? 1 out of 100 toys.
100 toys? This doesn't even make sense. I guess I'd give it like a 80, like an 80 toys.
I wrote down I would give it 81.5 toys.
Okay, yeah.
So that's our endorsement for that movie. So yeah, that's all I have about Toy Story. Good movie, good time. I'm looking forward to watching the second one, which is what we're going to talk about next time when we talk about Toy Story.
Oof. Yeah. I don't know if I can do this again. the Toy Story right away.
Toy Story, we're going to watch all 4 as soon as possible, and we're going to review them all next week.
6 seasons in a movie.
6 seasons in a movie. All right, are we done?
Yeah, I think we're done.
Yeah, I think we're good. All right, cool.
See you next time.
Thank you guys for listening, and hopefully you learned some really interesting things about a movie that came out 27 years ago, and you had fun listening, and you'll come back and listen next week, and we might talk about Toy Story 2, or we might talk about
something cool.
Something cool. I don't know, Tom Brady retiring or something.
Yeah.
That's very interesting and very sad, and but
sad for Caleb. This is idol.
Very sad for me. It really is my idol. Very sad. But I mean, we'll talk about that another time. I don't want to start crying because it just happened today.
Just so you guys know, there's some tears coming already. So
there are.
Yep.
But those are just my everyday 8:30 tears. That just happens every night.
Guys, can you please give him some privacy? All right, thank you. Just respect his feelings.
Again, thank you all for listening, and bye, I guess. Or should we have a sign off?
I don't know. See you later.
How about
Bromosapiens signing out. Cut that.
Bromosapiens signing out.
You saw my hands too?
Yeah.
So...
all right, our sign off will be, to those who listened, we thank you, and for listening.
I thought mine was bad. Just the off the cuff.
Oh, this guy's coming in. Hey, babe. 2 of the Beatles died.
Oh my gosh.
Well, like, they've been dead for, 40 years.
Yeah.
I don't know that.
Yeah.
I was just telling you it's funny that I thought you meant the 2 that were living died.
Oh, no, they're alive.
Is this
Yeah, it's
on?
Yeah.